Good evening and welcome to round one of the inaugural Formula Student Sim Race series. Round one's coming from Most Autodromo in the Czech Republic, and the cars we have racing for you this evening are World Touring cars from 2018. The teams have had a week to practice on the practice server and choose from the selection of cars, and it's fair to say that the Audi RS3 was by far the most popular car, but we do have a selection of other entries, and as noted in Discord earlier, a brave team going for the Alpha, but the Audi RS3 is dominating the number of entries. We have around 5 minutes now to race start while everyone joins the server and forms the grid. As I mentioned, qualifying was a practice qualifying over the first week ahead of the event. That was unique for round one, whilst we gave the teams a chance to get used to logging into the server and everything else associated with the series. For the future rounds, we're running it slightly differently. There'll be unlimited offline practice, as that's something we can't control, but there'll only be the first 20 laps that the teams log on the practice server that count towards the qualifying session. Pole position for the race this evening is Southampton University Formula Student Team with a time of 1 minute 38.884 seconds. In second place, Salford Racing, 1 minute 38.957. And in third place, Sheffield Hallam University with a 1 minute 39.445. We have a full grid of 31 cars, and 29 of the teams attempted a time in qualifying. It was competitive at the top, slowest time down at the bottom, 1 minute 45.282 seconds. So it should be some close racing over the course of the evening for you. Format for tonight, we have two races. Both races are 25 minutes in duration. We have 1 minute 30 to the start of this race. The second race is a reverse grid of the finishing order positions from the first race. This is the first of what will ultimately be 8 rounds over the coming months. It's a monthly series. There'll be online events for the first rounds 1 to 7, and then round 8 will be held at the actual Formula Student event. We're trying to sort out getting enough sim rigs on site so we can have all drivers driving together. Otherwise, we'll run it as a online event, but streamed live and hosted live at the actual live Formula Student event. 20 seconds now nearly until the start of the race, counting down soon. We appear to be missing Sheffield Hallam Racing. And we're off. Clean start from pole position for Southampton. The question is, will everyone make it through the first corner? It's very reminiscent of Monza Turn 1, which for those who've done lots of sim racing will know there's often frequent accidents. Front of the pack is clean through the first couple of corners. One car going through the gravel, but that was much better than I expected. On board now with the University of Salford, followed closely behind Preston from Southampton. Little lock up on the way in. Closing. Oh, and he's gone wide at the hairpin. Will he get a run? Just not quite enough. Just our discretion is a better part of valour. Save it for the... oh no, he's straight past. Some great wheel-to-wheel action already. Very close between first and second. It appears that both of them are slightly buckling under the pressure and not able to hold the lines that they've been doing in practice. Both looking up into the corner. Opportunity for Sheffield Hallam here. Side by side down the main straight. Oh no, Sheffield Hallam's locked the rear wheels on the way into the chicane. It's close all the way through the field, but let's get back towards the front for the battle for first and second. Bumper to bumper, even a bit of touring car love tap potentially. Just not quite enough. Spoke too soon, up nicely up the inside. Third place now we have Sheffield University. Managing to keep close. Oh, contact between first and second, really allowed third place to close up. Someone's sending it up the inside. Is there contact? Oh, we're coming up on back markers already. I think it's fair to say that some drivers are less experienced than others. Really closing up at the front now. We have a train of 6 cars. Salford managing to pull out a little bit of breathing space as it's closing up on the cars behind. On board now with Tatum from Portsmouth. He's having to defend the car behind, also whilst trying to attack the car in front. Clean pass through on the inside from Preston, University of Southampton. Well, we're 5 minutes in already, and I think it's fair to say it's been some frantic racing so far. The question is, will it keep up for the remainder of the race? Looks like the lead's been stretched out just a little, or is that a back marker? That is a back marker in front, so the it's closed back up between first and second. Best lap so far of 1:41.292. That's nowhere near the times they're achieving in qualifying. I think they just can't take the lines with having to defend positions compared to the ideal line they would have taken during their qualifying laps. Safely through on the black marker. Fortunately, there's no blue flag rules active on within the game software that we're using. Sheffield closing up on the brakes, second place, bumping over the curbs. It's so close between the top 4 or 5 cars. Nice pass from Southampton up the inside, but he's overcooked it. Is he going to come back at him? No, he's had to tuck in. Just over a second to make up to first place. Can he put in some tidy laps now? He's got some space behind him. Gap staying stable at just around a second so far. Third place Sheffield. I think they've had a little bit of an untidy few corners. They've dropped further behind as well. Hopefully they'll start to fight for first and second and allow everyone to close back up. While the gaps have opened up towards the front of the field, let's take an opportunity to... Oh, didn't have to go far. Straight away we've got some wheel-to-wheel racing already for 5th, 6th and 7th. Harry Watt defending. Doors left open, but not quite. Oh, he stuffs it up the inside. Is he going to push him out onto the grass? No, he gives him racing room. Run down to the chicane now. It should be a clean pass as long as he doesn't outbrake himself. Yes, and safely through. I thought we'd seen some egregious corner cutting, but it's a back marker getting out the way the car's coming through, so we'll let that one pass. On board with Peace from Bolton in 7th place. Lunch from Liverpool John Moores, the car ahead. On board now with Liverpool John Moores, and they're close to Portsmouth in 5th place. Comments in the YouTube chat, someone just straight lined it. That was a back marker getting out of the way of the faster cars coming through, so it's not a problem. Key getting onto the power early, coming out onto this long straight and run down to the chicane. Are we going to see another pass? It's gaining. It's gaining. Let's go on board. It's not quite close enough, I think. It'll be a full send from there. Oh, but I think he's going to get the opportunity up to the next corner now. Closed right down to 0.2 of a second. This next corner is a tricky entry, braking, trying to carry the speed in on to the left. You have to avoid that mountainous curb on the right. Perfect timing of an example of what happens if you take too much curb on the inside. And that's John Moores through. They've got 4 seconds to close up to Heriot Watt in front. This section of the track, you've really got to give it up on the corner entry to focus on getting the good exit and carry the speed all the way down this second long straight into the final corners. Stretching a little bit of a gap on the car behind, but the gap is opening up to Heriot Watt in front. Let's take the opportunity to look through some other areas of the field. Some very close racing for 7th and 8th. Up the inside. Oh, contact. This is touring car racing after all. It is a contact sport. Oh, nearly contact again. Oh, and there's contact this time. Side by side as we run down to the fast chicane. Oh, we have a third car come to play as well. Hector Lizar from Vittoria. Tucked right in for this key final corner, lining up for the pass down into the first corner. Let's go on board. Oh, he's going to try around the outside. Not quite, but the other car's forced out wide. This is going to give Lizar the inside line now if he manages to hold it down the straight. Yeah, looks like he's going to have the inside line for the run into the next chicane. Nicely executed pass. Avoiding the big curb on the inside. Riding on board with Ilmano now. They have a small gap to the car ahead. Although looking at the timings, I think that's still a back marker in front of them. Yeah, so they actually have 4 or so seconds to Portsmouth, the car in front. Really, the back markers should be paying them a little more respect. Moving back forward through the field again, it looks like it's still close racing for 4th, 5th and 6th. Let's just check how our leaders at the front are doing. 3rd place, Harriet Watt. 7-second gap to close. Oh, but it's back close between 1st and 2nd by the looks of things. Less than 2 seconds in it. Let's ride on board with Preston from Southampton for a little while, see if we can close this gap down. Yeah, he's got that gap down to just over a second. This could get interesting soon. Message coming in from WhatsApp from IMAC. Tower on the left hand side is showing 12 down for some reason. We're just going to flick through, see if we can get that fixed. No, I'm not sure what's going on there. We can try an alternative. That's not working so well with the driver codes. It doesn't like the longer strings on the left hand side. We'll turn that one off as well. Gap 1st to 2nd seems to be pretty stable, around just over a second. Less than 5 minutes to go to race the end. Harriet White in 3rd place, that gap's opening up. But they appear to be in a safe 3rd. That's not the case for Sheffield in 4th, still close between 4th and 5th. Little lock up from the car in front, allowing the John Moores to close the gap even further. Exit of this corner really is key for the speed down the straight. Oh, I was a little wide on, missed that apex. And a little wide on corner exit as well onto the straight. The gap's opening back up. Oh, and he spun over the curbs. That allows Tatum from Portsmouth through. I can see in the mirrors it looks like we've got some close racing, a few cars behind. Let's go have a look at that. Okay, less than a minute left to go until the end of the race. Let's go back to the front and find our leaders. Oh, and it's closed up between first and second. We really could have a tight run down to the line. Saved by the bell there, I think. Time has run down just in time. Ah, 1 lap to go. No, that is race over for the cars in front. Let's see the rest of the cars over the line. In 4th place, Sheffield. 5th place, Portsmouth. Oh, very close. Liverpool John Moores in 6th. Victoria in 8th. Bolton 9th. Cambridge 10th. Ion 11th. University of the West of England coming through for 13th. Followed by University of Madrid, then Sheffield Hallam, Kingston University, Staffordshire, TU Sophia, Trinity College from Wales, the University of Hull. That's the end of the race. So for the first race, some very, very hectic action, but mostly clean racing as well. I hope you all enjoyed that. We'll be back in approximately 10 minutes time for the start of race 2. It's a reverse grid race, which has all the hallmarks of being carnage into the first corner. Thanks very much for watching. Back soon. And welcome back, ladies and gents, for round 2 with the reverse grid from the finishing order of race 1. Just under 4 minutes to the start of the race. Getting close to the race start now. On pole position we have car 28A from AUM Racing. Second place 08C from Liverpool. 31B Greenhill from University of Wales, Trinity St David's. And we're off. Clean start from everyone. I have a sneaking suspicion we won't be so clean through turn 1 this time though. Yeah, we have contact, car off into the gravel. Argy-bargy on the cars behind. Oh, another one spun around. Oh, massive crash. We'll have to get that one back on the replay for it. Oh, more carnage. The joys of reverse grid racing. So I have no idea who that was. Oh, oh dear. I think that someone has their controllers disconnected. Through the first few corners, let's try and follow some clean racing action now. No, still carnage ahead. Let's try and find some of our quick cars from race 1, see how far they've made it through the field. So Hull holding a decent lead after the end of lap 1, nearly 3 seconds to Liverpool behind. Liverpool a little wide on corner exit. It appears we still have, we have someone stuck through the floor from the lap 1 incident. Clips the edge of the large curb. Does he have anyone behind? No, not close enough to take advantage of that mistake. Wide into the hairpin. I'll go with driver 15B. I'm not going to attempt to pronounce that surname. I'll need some tips ahead of the next round on how to pronounce your names. Holding steady in 6th place though. 1.5 seconds to the car in front. Looks like we have some closer action behind. So Harriet Watt chasing down Staffordshire in front, with Sheffield Hallam behind. It's closing up nicely between these 3 cars. It's going to have the run down into the first corner. Is this a 2-for-1 pass coming up? On the brakes, send it, contact. Oh. And they're still going at it. Joe Gromer on the outside doing a placement at HPP where I work, and I know Joe took part in the inaugural sim racing in FS 2020 when we were fully virtual. Kingston University behind in 10th place. Ilmenau in 11th. Victoria in 12th. Portsmouth Combustion in 13th. With Southampton not far behind. No love lost between those 2 towns, as we know. Actually battling out on track as well. TU Sofia in 15th. Yildiz 16th. Cambridge 17th. Dundee 18th. Ion in 19th. Sheffield 20th. Liverpool John Moores in 21st. Trinity St David 22nd. Bolton 23rd. I need my cheat sheet for 24th. About to be overtaken by... Oh no, contact. And Salford are still in it, but in 25th. I presume that they were involved in some of that lap one carnage, or that their second driver just isn't quite as quick as their first driver. So, back to the front, we have Hull out in the lead. Respectable lap time 141.732, and they're holding a steady 10 seconds. Oh no, coming down quickly. 9 to 10 second lead over behind. Much closer action between second and third. Let's focus on that for a couple of seconds. Oh, lock up from the car in front. Allow them to close up. He goes a little wide on exit. He's shedding time all the way down this straight now. A little wide on exit again. Needs to tidy up a little bit if he's going to close down the gap to the car in front. No, off on the grass again. Let's ride on board with the University of West of England. It looks like they're closing the gap down to Hull. Yeah, which is around 10 seconds before. We're down to hovering around 8 seconds. At this rate, we should have some action between first and second in a few laps' time. Staying steady around the 8 seconds. Let's try and have a look through the field and try and find some more action for you. Reasonably even gaps between all the cars. There we go, that's what we're looking for. One of the few teams not to go for the Audi RS3. Our Hyundai testing them out in practice, a similar pace. Oh, late on the brakes on the car behind. So I was saying, yeah, testing the different cars out in practice. Pace between the Hyundai and the Audi, there's not much to choose between them at all. Same for the Volkswagen. Let's go on board with some of the cars behind. Ah, just in time for the contact. So that's allowed Portsmouth up into 16th. Soon to be 15th by the looks of it. '13th even. This is some hectic racing compared to race one. Oh, that was never 3 into 1. Never works. There's a car off onto the gravel on the exit of the chicane. That allows some of the cars behind to make places. Bolted in 17th. AUM Racing just ahead of TU, just behind TU Sophia. Dundee in 20th. Let's ride on board with them for a little. Goes for the send up the inside, door left wide open. Easy pass through. Can he close up into the critical last corner, get the speed onto the main straight? Oh, a car in front's hopped over the curb. We might have a significant closing speed down the straight now. No, not quite. Not able to capitalise on the mistake from Dundee in front. Looks to be a little later on the brakes into the first corner. Is he going to get a good exit? No, similar between the two. This race seems to be ticking down faster than the first one. It's just frantic throughout the field. All heavy over the curbs and a spin. On board now with TU Sophia. Dundee around 2 seconds ahead. Let's go for the rear camera. That's Ion behind. Victoria in 28th. Let's go and try and find our leaders again. See how it's looking at the front. Ah, looks like Hull have just gone wide. Yeah, that gap's come down to 5 seconds now. Still University of the West of England in second place. Steadily closing that gap down. We may be... Oh, there's still time to get that gap down before the end of the race. Gap to third place behind. Around 7 seconds. Terry White in third. Looks less secure for them. Less than a second between third and fourth. Let's go back on board. I think we might be seeing an attempted pass into the first corner. Late on the brakes. Oh no, we have contact from the car exiting the pit lane. That's really not on. I think we'll have to remind drivers that we do have full replays that we save from the race, and we will be reviewing afterwards. If we see any deliberate punting of drivers off or similar, then we will take action. But that is Sheffield Hallam into a comfortable third now. But Herriot Watt do appear not to have been too delayed by that incident with the car exiting the pit lane. Still unfortunate, 1.5 seconds to make up. And Portsmouth Electric close behind, less than half a second. Liberal use of the curbs there from both cars. But slightly better exit from Herriot Watt in front. They're stretching the gap slightly into the straight, into this critical chicane. Both avoiding the mountainous curbs on the right-hander. Oh, mistake into the hairpin. That's allowing Herriot Watt to stretch out in front. Let's ride back on board with them. Gap to Sheffield Hallam, still a similar 1.7 seconds to when we last left them. Come down a couple of tenths. It doesn't appear that visually. I think just might be a bit delayed on the timer bar at the bottom of the screen. As we go on through the final corner, a little tight on the curbs. Yeah, and that gap is extending as we go down the straight. Looking on the tower on the left-hand side, it looks like the gap at the front is closing down, so let's ride on board as we come towards the last few minutes of the race. So with a best lap of 1:41.1, I'm just going to look on the live timing app on my phone and see what sort of lap times the leaders have been achieving. Best lap of 1:41.4, but only a 1:41.8 on that last lap. I think we really are on for a last couple of laps dice between these cars fighting for first and second. Nearly down to under a second. No DRS in World Touring cars, but there is a slipstream effect if they get close enough. The gap's really coming down now, less than a second. Oh, and a heavy hop over the curve from Hull. I think it's feeling the pressure of the car behind. That last lap was a 142.5. It's a difficult entry into this corner. Lock up on the car in front. That's allowed UWE to close up even more. It really is key, this one. Power early, carry that speed onto the straight. Yeah, look at the closing speed we have between the two. I think we're on for, is he going to try pass on the outside? This would be a brave move. I think you're about to be hung out to dry. Contact between the two cars. Oh, that's West of England safely through into the lead. Can UWE open up a gap now as we come down into the last couple of minutes of racing? Or can Hull fight back? Close on the entry into the hairpin. It's right on board with Hull. That gap's been steady around 0.4 of a second since the first corner. There's opportunity. Car in front locks up, misses the apex. But similar exit speed onto the straight. It'll be a full Danny Rick, lick this stamp and send it if he goes for this attempt into overtake attempt into turn one. Yeah, decides better of it, save it for later in the lap. Oh no, spoke too soon. Contact. But that actually slowed him down, so... Oh no. We have a disconnect. That's unfortunate. That was really close racing for first and second. Well, it appears that I may be having some internet issues. I'm going to have to bomb out and try and rejoin the server. Apologies for this. We'll hopefully get back on in no time. No, unfortunately, it appears to be not letting me back into the race. Ah, really sorry about that. We'll have to fix the technical issues for round two. But the two great races this evening, reverse grid, carnage as expected. We'll review the replays for any deliberate contact. Thank you very much for watching this evening. We'll be back in just over a month's time for round two at the A1 ring. Cars will be announced for the teams a week before. At the moment, they don't know what they'll be racing, but looking forward to getting on track again for round two. Thanks very much for watching. We'll publish the results for race two as soon as they become available. Thanks everyone. Goodbye.